And we are live.
And we are vertical.
We're trying it. We're trying to go vertical today. We'll see how it works. And we'll give it a few minutes. Give everybody a chance to pop on.
Yeah. And say hello to the kids.
Yes.
And,
Hi, guys.
And on our way home from coffee, I saw a joke. So this joke's for the kids.
Oh.
How do flowers whistle? You know?
With their lips? Two lips?
With their two lips.
Two lips. It was a good guess. All right.
A dad would get a dad joke.
That sounds like a good dad joke to me. All right. Now, I'm not using the chat overlay today, as you can see, just because we are going vertical and we don't know necessarily what to expect. And we want to try to keep it clean. And hopefully we don't have any issues that way.
Yeah, for some strange reason, when you go vertical, you end up with a bunch of people that may or may not be interested in your topic. And sometimes it's just kind of trolls.
So we have a few things to talk about today, but I don't want to go on too quickly. I want to give everybody a chance to get in. And I've just double checked on the phone that we're good. So now we have to sit closer today. Now that we're trying this vertical thing.
This is different. I can't get the screen like you.
Oh.
That's okay.
That is different. All right, so don't want to jump into the topics just yet. We want to give people a chance to get on, and
yeah, but we can talk about how happy we are that it feels like spring.
Yes,
today,
finally.
Yesterday.
It's been a weekend to get things done, which is nice. Weather's been decent. It's felt a little warmer. Don't have to wear coats.
So nice. Can't wait to put away all the bulky stuff.
Pretty soon we'll have to stop drinking hot beverages on the live. Speaking of which,
never.
What are we drinking today?
Honey bush, mandarin, and orange tea. And it's very hot.
It's good. It's good. No complaints. All right. So, other than the fact that it's been a beautiful weekend, we got a lot done. We're going to talk about all that. What else can we kill a few minutes with while people get on?
Kill a few minutes.
The sheet hanging behind us, that was a last minute adjustment because it was blinding in here.
That's not our regular decor.
No.
But it works.
Yeah, we just quickly put some material up so we could have a little less glare behind us.
Yeah, it was really bright. It was almost sad to put it up because it was so nice and sunny and summery in there.
It is very nice to see. Other than that, we still can't get our plants outside. It's still too cool for that.
Yeah, but that's okay. I actually am a little bit thankful for the cool weather because my plants haven't been going the way I want them to. And today we actually had to run out and get some seeds. I needed Swiss chard. I just didn't realize I was out of it, but also zucchini. I had planted my own saved seeds, but I guess maybe it's getting a little old or something because I planted it like a couple weeks ago and nothing came up. So I had to grab some zucchini seeds and starting again.
Giggle over you. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in. Oh, and we got, well, I don't know if I can say that one probably. Sarju, Prasad. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not familiar with the names.
Hello.
But thank you for coming on and joining us, guys.
So yeah, I am so excited and really, really hoping that soon the temperatures will be above our 10 degrees day and night, and I can get these plants out of the house and into the greenhouse.
we're trying a vertical today, guys. First time we've tried vertical. We normally go the other direction with it, but we thought we'd give it a shot. That makes it easier for people with phones. And we do this every Sunday, usually around at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's forcing us to sit a little closer together.
we have to sit close, but it's nice to have some keep up on the phones here. The chat on the computer is just a little slower than the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Gymnastics Girly, how are you today?
I know you made me. I don't know how to work this.
Yeah, no problem.
Is everyone getting nice weather like we are? Because I am so happy about it. Hello, Money Fit Homestead, Donald and Lisa.
Hi, guys. Thank you for dropping in.
Vinu, I hope I pronounced that right. We are in Canada, so we're talking in Celsius.
Donald and Lisa, it's our first time going vertical, so I know you guys do this all the time, but for us, it's new. All right. So we kind of got caught up a little bit on the chat. And
we'll try to keep up with it.
Yeah, we'll try to keep up. Elkin, welcome in.
Hello, thanks for joining us.
Hopefully I said that properly. We're not as fluent in some of the other names that we're not used to. So anyway, it's been a very busy weekend.
It's productive.
Yeah, productive. The temperature has been much better, as we spoke about briefly a few minutes ago. We've thank you very much. Speaking of looking good, I've managed to drop 40 pounds, Donald. It's my 3.5 months in on this low carb diet, and it seems to be paying off for me.
He's working hard, and it's showing.
Especially when we took the kids to a bunch of Easter stuff yesterday, and they're getting candy and chocolate, and but it's
yeah, we're all Eastered out.
Yes.
But he did so
practice
good.
For next weekend.
Yeah, at home anyway.
Yeah.
So where do you want to go?
Well, right now we could thank you.
Has anyone planted outdoors this week? Because I know I need to get peas out there. I kind of just realized this earlier today. I'm like, oh yeah. But now that the weather is actually a little bit warmer, I have to get there for that.
Yeah, we haven't we can't plant in the ground here yet. It's a little too cold for us still. And we can't even harden the plants up yet because when we put things outside, the wind is still it kills off the plants. But thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. Hi, Robbie. Welcome in.
Robbie and Sonia.
Really appreciate all you guys popping in to see us. We're trying the vertical that you guys seem to have some success with. It's forcing Cindy and I to sit much closer. Not sure how we feel about that yet, but
we'll elbow each other a little bit. It's okay.
It's been a decent weekend. I actually managed to film, or Cindy managed to film me for a couple of videos this weekend. We had to quickly throw some fence up, some field fence around the geese. We were having some issues where
his geese.
Well, last year, I think we spoke about this briefly. Last year we lost one because it got caught up in the netting trying to get to the chickens and ducks. And I thought it was just a fluke. And then last week I came home the one day. Actually, yeah, I came home and I was looking around. And I thought, why do I only see 3 geese? Because one I know is sitting on her nest, so she's busy, she's occupied. But the other 4 are always out and around together. And I only saw the 3, and then I got looking around and I found one tangled up in the netting. And it had been there quite a while. He'd pretty much given up. He was just kind of sitting there, and I had to quickly get him out, and he did recover. Now, was about 3 days ago, I get a text at work from Cindy and says, I just had to get 3 other geese out of the netting. And they were, she said the one was foaming at the mouth. So this was starting to get a little critical because with that one nesting right now, I find they're just so territorial, and they go try to stick their heads through the netting that we had around the chickens. And I don't know, with the long necks, I don't know how they do it, but they just somehow get in there and they get tangled.
Yeah, it was crazy. I went in to feed the chickens. I didn't even see them at first. I fed the chickens. I turned around and I looked, and there's 3 goose heads just sticking through the fence, all tangled up in each other and in the netting. And they weren't making noise. They weren't, like you said before, they'd given up. They weren't doing anything. So I didn't even think they were alive for a second. But I untangled 1 and 2 fairly easily. The third one took a good 10 minutes to loosen the netting and work it out. But they all walked away, waddled away.
Yeah. So yesterday that was the mission. I put field fence in place of where that netting was. So now we don't have to have that concern all the time, especially with this time of year and stuff. And it looks nicer too. I have to admit, I hate having to put a permanent fence up because I do like the versatility of having netting. But it does look nicer. I do admit. So
yeah, and they're just T-posts, so it's not.
Yeah, they're just.
Irreversible.
Just use 6-foot T-posts, 2 feet in the ground, so they can easily come back out, and we can change it up again if we need to. It's just something that they're not gonna commit suicide in.
Yeah, dumb geese.
Yeah, they're not the smartest critters, but I do like having them around.
Yeah, I texted him. I'm like, I just had to save 3 of your donkeys.
85 degrees, Robbie. Wow.
Oh, nice. And thanks for that.
I thought feeling like 14, 15 degrees Celsius today was pretty nice. So, walking around with no coats, no jackets. It's going to come. It'll come for us, right? And when we get to that temperature, of course, you'll probably be pushing over 100. But it's
we're happy.
Yeah, it's just nice to get a break from that, because even last week we actually got snow 3 days. It didn't, it just enough to make the ground white, but not enough to stay. Fortunately, because that would have really been hard on the spirits.
It's amazing how just a little bit of warmth and sunshine brightens your spirits.
Yeah, exactly. Get a little vitamin D. Enjoy being out more. But speaking of being outside, what else do we do? Oh. We're still getting an average of 60 eggs a day from the birds. That's
the best year we've ever had.
Yeah, steady for us that way. And it's because it seems to be covering, like I had spoken about before, it covers all our expenses as far as feed for the other animals, and I think it's even going to cover the cost of buying our meat birds this year. And I see it being a positive this year as far as getting ahead with making it worth the extra work, I guess you might say. But
yeah, for sure. And that's good, because otherwise it wouldn't be worth having more than would feed ourselves.
Yeah, more than enough just to keep us in eggs. But being able to sell them like that, it seems to be paying off so far. At least this year. Last year I think it did too. It's just we didn't track it as well, and we bought more expensive items last year, a couple more incubators and things like that. Speaking of those, Cindy just told me before she came upstairs that we do have some chickens that are starting to hatch out of the shells.
One hatched and a few are pipping.
Yeah, I'm really crossing my fingers, because the way I've been doing it this year is I have multiple incubators set up, and I'm just using them for incubating, and then I've got one set up just for hatching. And right now I've got, in this one incubator, I've got silky chicks, Polish chicks, pheasant eggs, and goose eggs that all need to hatch within the next few days. And I'm really curious if I'm going to have any luck hatching these goose eggs, because I know last year when I tried it, I really struggled. We only ended up getting one hatch out of, I think we had like a dozen eggs, I believe. Maybe not
quite.
quite.
2 hatched, but one didn't.
One didn't make it. we end up going and buying goslings. Now she has a really nice nest going on right now. I did get a glimpse of that when we were doing the last video, so it'll be in an upcoming video, because when we were doing the fence, unfortunately we disturbed her. She ended up coming out and left the nest for 10 minutes, which she's been stationed on it, but gave me a chance to go in and film the eggs. I think I counted about 24, so we'll see how she does.
Yeah, we noticed she moved her nest from one end of the calf shelter to the other side.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how she's turning the eggs, but the nest is moving around, so I'm thinking that that's her way of maybe even taking out bad eggs, if she can tell what's what. I'm sure they have an instinctive way of knowing. But
yeah, it's kind of neat, because there's the second female that's also laying in there, but somehow they created one nest. Yeah, we do eat a lot of eggs for every meal.
You know what? We do. Ironically, not a lot of chicken eggs. It's mostly quail. And even our duck eggs, we haven't been eating too many of those this year yet, because we've sold some, and we've been incubating quite a few of them, because I think we'll try to have more duck in our diet this year. Cindy does it in the crock pot. I'm not sure what the recipe was. We have to try to find it again, but it comes out almost like you're having a roast, like a beef roast type material. So it's quite it's a nice treat.
Yeah. And today was busy because, we filmed another video for upcoming video, but
yeah, it was very busy. Today's our running around day, as you guys know, and we went, got our groceries and all that done in the morning. Kids went in to visit with grandma and their uncle, and we came home, and I quickly started gathering what I need to put the big brooder together, because in 2 days we should have our meat chickens and new layers showing up.
And turkeys.
And turkeys.
Don't forget your turkeys.
I'm excited about the turkeys. But
and our hatchlings.
Yeah, and as well, everything that we got hatching right now. So I ended up building a very large area for them, and I'm hoping that it will contain everything, because I'm not really sure. Even the meat birds, like we have 50 meat birds coming, and I don't know how long it's going to be till we can get them outside, because it still gets quite cool. So I'm afraid that they may end up spending a lot of their life inside this big brooder I had to make inside the shop. But we'll see. We'll see what the temperatures do and go from there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to have so many birds.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that many chicks at once. We've hatched a lot of chicks, but not all at one time. Usually we have them in stages.
Yeah, in separate
brooders and things like that. So we'll have to see how this goes. And right now we actually took the silkies that we had in the kitchen. As you guys know, over the past few months, we've been hatching silkies and Polish and keeping them in the kitchen with us and selling them off and taking them out as they get older. And hey, John, how are you?
John.
Thanks for coming in. And we were able to get the remaining, because we've sold most of them, but there's maybe a dozen or half a dozen, that we took out to the garage today and put them inside that big brooder. Get them out of the house and get rid of that smell. So the only thing we have in the house right now still is some quail in a brooder in the basement.
And the chicks will be there to welcome the new ones.
Yeah, I find it's one thing that really impressed me with the silkies, because you guys have probably had them in the past, but we've never had them until this past year, and this is our first year with chicks. And I'm surprised they don't bully each other, which really was a surprise for us. So we were able to have multiple aged silkies all in the same brooder, and they don't bother to pick on each other or anything like that. So it's been really handy. So I think we'll be able to keep them in there even with the other chicks when they come. I don't think it's going to be an issue for us.
Because otherwise we would have had to have 3 separate brooders taking up space for just those ones.
Yeah. and even with the meat chickens, like between the meat and the layers that we got coming, there's 70 plus birds. And I think the next week we must have, I don't know, probably 40, 50 different types of poultry that are supposed to be hatching.
Well, not different types, but
Different types, yeah.
but 40, 50 birds.
Birds, yeah. Well, I mean, between the geese and the ducks and the different chicks and pheasants, and a lot to house somewhere. But
so, Robbie, you're hatching your own this year? Do I remember correctly? Are they due to hatch very soon? So our hatching incubator has one right now and a few pipping, and we're just waiting for those first pips on the goose eggs.
I'm really hoping. I really am. I'm not sure. I know they were fertile, but I don't know. I haven't had a lot of luck with actually hatching them. I believe John's from Indiana, Donald. He can correct me though, I think, but I'm pretty sure. So were you hatching your own, Robbie? I can't remember. I know John was going to hatch his own. Yeah, that's Central Indiana, right? So, John, you've got birds in your incubator. And I imagine, Donald, you guys are probably hatching some. I know you were waiting for them to get laying, but I imagine by now you're probably good.
I was hearing, we went for coffee, and I was hearing on the radio, I don't know if it was a Canadian or an American radio station, but they were talking about how hard it is to get chicks.
Yeah.
They compared it to Black Friday, where people are just competing to get these chicks.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't say we have that issue here at all.
No, we ordered from the hatchery, so.
Yeah. The only thing we don't have now is we don't have the local farm store that was carrying chicks every year, but we weren't really buying from them anyway. Mm-hmm. This is our first year actually. Actually, I don't remember.
Yeah, we've only ever bought from farms.
Yeah, we bought chicks from farms a couple times, but this is really the first big order we've ever put in. So John says his should hatch around the 21st. That's all right then.
Yeah. Time to prepare for them. And it should be warmer.
Chickens are laying right now, but haven't in the incubator yet. No, not yet, eh? I'm just kind of clicking some of the comments as they come up, guys. I don't have the overlay on because I wasn't sure what kind of comments we were going to see today. So I'm just putting the odd one up.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Quite a few little chicks running around soon too.
Yeah, so far we haven't really kept much for ourselves. We've been kind of selling everything off as we get them. Yeah. Except for the polkies that Cindy.
Well, I kept a few on purpose and sold off the rest.
Yeah. Because she wanted to have a little combo of the Polish and silky chickens. Now I think one of them didn't turn out to be. I don't think it turned out to be a Polish or
maybe polky. Not, but she's my favorite. I think it's a she. Hello, Duncan Family Farm.
Hi guys, thank you for popping in. Yeah, so far anyway.
Yeah, she looks just like her mother.
Just exactly. Looks identical. So yeah, that's this will be good to have a few variations coming in. Hopefully, we're supposed to get a call tomorrow that'll tell us where and what time to pick up these birds.
Yeah, we still don't know. It's almost like an illicit deal.
Yeah, they let you know the day before, and because of the avian flu, it's the location that we order from is within a restricted area because of some outbreak at some point. And so we can't actually go and pick them up there like you normally would. Instead, they have to have a ulterior pickup point.
That's not in a gray zone or.
Yeah, and apparently you have a certain time you have to be there to pick up, so it's very regimented. But we're just looking forward to getting that call and actually knowing when and where to be.
Yeah, and hoping that it's pretty close so that it's an easy trip back.
Yeah, and I should be home, so Cindy won't have to deal with that part of it because I believe it should be during the day, and I'm working evenings this week, some afternoons.
So this week, I did something new, sort of.
Oh, tell us, please tell us.
Well, I bet everyone's going to be like, oh, you're such an idiot. I've been doing this forever. But no, for the first time, I made apple butter. I saw something about it on YouTube, and I've heard of the name before, but then I looked up a recipe, and I'm like, this is kind of easy. You just put everything in the crock pot. So I was waking up really early with him because he wakes up early for work on the day shift. And I have all this frozen fruit that has to get used up so we have freezer space for birds. So I took a couple bags of apples that were already cut and peeled and all that, put it in the crock pot, put in the spices, turned it on, and let it go for 10 hours. And then mixed it up, let it go for a couple more hours. And I had apple butter. And the kids are like, it's like having apple pie on toast. It was the easiest thing ever.
Which sounds fantastic for a guy that can eat that stuff.
But I'm like in love with all these different butters now because this is how I'm going to use up my fruit. I have to do it in a hurry, and I'm going to make like peach butter and pear butter.
We froze a lot of fruit this year thinking that we were going to make a bunch of pies
and jam
and jams and things like that. But now that we have to start looking at emptying these freezers, not only just for the meat birds, but of course we have rabbits and things like that that'll all be coming due for processing around the same time. So we want to make sure we have adequate room. Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, of course, we'll have fresh fruit again this year. So no point in hanging on to too much of what's in the freezers. So you're heading out in a bit to get some chicks from a coworker of Donna's. That's pretty much almost seems like that's how it has to be done now. And just who you know, it's almost like everybody's got to have a dealer.
Not just an egg dealer. You have to have a chick dealer too.
Egg and chick dealer. I have never tried apple butter, John. I really I really want to try it, but I'm trying to behave myself. So it's trying to keep away from that sugar.
Yeah, he came home from work the other day and thought there was apple pie.
I walked in the house. I'm like, oh, she's making apple pie.
I wouldn't do that.
So no, I don't want to jinx myself. It's paying off. I want to kind of keep going.
I think I'm going to try making some mixtures, like apple peach. Give it a try.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some good combinations. Apple peach doesn't really jump out at me, but okay.
I don't know. Anybody done anything like that before?
Yeah.
I think it depends on the type of apples. I don't even know what type I used, but I did read in the recipe they were suggesting certain types.
Okay.
The kind that I made ended up with a tanginess, which personally I like, but I'm sure a sweeter kind might be preferable to other people.
Yeah, Sydney's kind of curious because we get a lot of pears and stuff here in the property as well, and they're one of those things. What do you do with it? You don't make pie. So she's come up with some really good jams, but you don't. They're not for me anyway. They're not as nice to have around as apples are. But apparently you can make this butter as well out of pears and peaches and whatever else you want to do. But peaches are probably more readily available for you guys as far as having a fresh peach to work with. But we can't. We can grow them here, but we have not had any luck yet getting the trees to take here. We've got some pretty good luck with apricot trees that we started from seeds. I do have seeds from some peach trees that my in-laws have. They're only 20 minutes away, so they will grow in the area, but I haven't started them yet, and I'm kind of behind on that, I guess. But
I might try strawberries this year because everyone loves strawberry jam. So I'm sure I could just make strawberry butter and start it in the morning and have it at night. So excited about this.
Cindy's very gung-ho because it's so easy.
I love my crock pot or slow cooker, whatever you call it. I cook with it at least once a week for meals, but I'm just really excited to be able to just toss it and go.
Yeah.
I like things that don't take up my time.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. When you do it on a pot, you have to stand there and stir it, make sure it doesn't burn and all this stuff.
Yeah.
This was exciting.
Cool. Yeah, this is the only thing about it, just only being fridge stable, I guess, not shelf stable.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that recipe said it's good in the fridge for 2 weeks, but I imagine it could still be canned just the same way as jams.
Oh, okay.
I would think.
It's not so bad then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did the pear butter,
How
right?
did you enjoy the pear butter? Because we get a lot of pears.
We do. What do you call them? Like, I think they're like a Bartlett
I
pear,
think so.
but they're nice.
Yeah, they're great when they're fresh, but
Yeah.
then
It's just the timing of it all.
when they start to go a little softer, they're not as enjoyable fresh.
Yeah. The birds like them. The geese and the ducks and whatnot like them.
Yeah.
And the squirrels are always a bit of a competition for them. They always seem to take off with them as well, but
But we get so much that there's always plenty.
yeah, probably just strengthens the tree if anything.
Hoping that we get some new fruit sometime soon. We have added some blueberry trees and added some haskell's.
Caps and
And you said the plum tree is doing well.
yeah, we had to move the plum tree because it was just not in a good location, and we moved it last fall. And I noticed I went by it checking things out a couple days ago and it had little buds starting to form. So that's the thing with us here. The trees are still, they're just starting to get the buds. There's no real leaves or anything yet.
Which is good because
Yeah, I mean we don't.
it's too cold.
Obviously, we could still get frost for another month still, but it's not as green that way.
No, but it's coming.
Ever so slowly.
I am just thrilled that we had a spring-like day.
Yeah. Actually, the 14-day, when I look ahead, it doesn't look so bad the next little while. I think it'll be improving.
Good, because that is my goal, is to get all these little seedlings out of the
Outside.
house.
Get them out.
You wouldn't
We
believe
still-
how much space it's taken
We
up.
still can't use our kitchen table. It's crazy. Yeah, they do like those trees. We don't have that problem. We get so many because we have one older large tree that I have to every year I prune it down. I know with pears the thing about pruning them is when you prune them they just grow that much. They try to grow that much harder, but we don't want the thing getting too massive.
We started out with two.
We started with two.
large trees.
1 year, I don't know. I think between the temperatures and stuff that kind of killed it off.
Yeah, I think we had flooding too.
Flooding and
Yeah.
heavy frost. But there's 3 smaller ones that have been planted. We don't get much from them yet. But this big one is close to the house. And I think that's probably why the squirrels aren't as bad about taking everything on us.
Mhm. And the hummingbirds love that tree.
Yes. Yeah. You see the hummingbirds in there all the time. But other than that, I guess there's supposed to be another crazy moon tonight.
Is it just me, or does it feel like every month there's a new thing, like Northern Lights, or tonight it's a full pink moon?
It's like they're trying to keep us distracted instead of paying attention to the things that really matter. Well, I shouldn't say that moons don't matter for anybody that feels strongly about it, but
It'd be nice to see.
instead of focusing on things that matter, it's like, hey, everybody, look, there's a different color moon tonight.
Look up.
Look up. Don't look around you. Look up. But
We'll try to check it out.
apparently it's supposed to be a full pink moon, whatever that means. I'm guessing it's a reflection or a shadow of something. I have
Might
no
be
idea.
pretty. Might
Yeah, it
be
might
something
be.
to take pictures of.
Yeah. Chances are we'll forget about it and be in bed.
Probably.
And that'll be the end of that.
That's usually like, oh well, it's okay. Somebody
Yeah.
will take a picture and
It's
put it
like
on
New
Facebook.
Year's. It's like New Year's Eve. Whatever.
Is You still wake up in a new year. It's okay.
Yeah. So that's supposedly the big thing for tonight.
Fertilize your fruit trees. Yes. Yeah, we should do that too. We kind of do.
We do a little bit. We just use rabbit manure more or less to spruce things up a bit. But,
yeah, it seems to work.
Yeah, it seems to.
Which reminds me, we should probably try that again with the trees out front, because I'm still thinking they might not make it.
Yeah, the ones we put the spikes in, they're not looking too well. The one apple tree in the garden actually looks a little rough because we have such tall snowbanks in our garden this year that the rabbits must have been able to go up pretty high because the bark is ate away probably a couple feet off the ground on these trees, and the branches are trimmed back, and they really did quite a number.
As long as it lives.
Yeah. I think it will. There's buds on it. I think the only one we're going to have to remove, there is one apple tree. I think it's a Sweet 16 that the wind kind of broke off at the ground last year, but there was still some roots still hanging on to it. So I tried to prop it up, and
that was one of the two that we lost.
One of the two, yeah. But I don't think the efforts are going to pay off for it. It's just not going to.
Yeah, that was sad because they were giving us fruit already, but. Oh, apple pie so good.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Applesauce too. You can't have apples at all.
No, well, maybe once I get down to an ideal weight, and then I just have to hopefully control my intake a bit. So what else we got going on? Well, we're about 2 weeks. Tomorrow we'll be 2 weeks away from our federal election here, guys. So hopefully, well, not that I have any sway on the vote, but
we have our voter cards.
We got our cards ready to go. That's about the amount of sway we have, but I'm just hoping that the current government doesn't stay in place. Well, time will tell.
Yep. The polls are not looking great, but I don't really trust them either.
No.
So.
No, especially here anyway, because, I mean, your main large communication companies here are funded by the government, so you can't really know that it's going to be an honest answer.
Yeah. But we'll know by the end of the month.
Yeah. We'll either be crying or celebrating.
Yeah.
But, so what else we got going on? We've gone through most of our highlights for the week, but sounds like everybody's going crazy getting their chicks ready and things like that. But for us, the big thing this week will be picking up all the chicks.
Picking up the chicks, we need to get dirt.
Oh yes.
Soil.
That's one of the things on my chore list. Still, I probably need to get multiple trailer loads of dirt in
to finish filling the raised beds.
Yeah.
Possibly raise some low spots.
Yeah, and we just recently picked up another raised bed as well. That
we're going to turn. It's really long and large. We're going to turn that into the kids' area to have their own little gardens if they wish. It has been in the play yard in past years, but it's hard to mow around, so we're going to do raised bed this year.
Yeah, that's kind of like our blueberries. They're not very big, the bushes, but they do get a lot of berries on them. The only thing we have trouble with is the haskaps or honeyberries or multiple other names, which you might want to call them. We haven't been able to get fruit off them. Like, they get fruit, but we're gonna have to put some netting up, I think, because the birds just seem to get there before we do. So I think as much as I don't like working with nettings and things to keep them out, I think that's going to have to happen.
Yeah, if we want to taste them, it is.
Yeah, because if you're not familiar, they're another blueberry, but they're longer and almost have like a bell shape, but elongated.
It's kind of like the elderberries and the autumn olives. When the birds decide they're ready to go, they will wipe it out really fast. But
Yeah.
we have a lot of the other types, the elderberry and autumn olive, so we do still get some for ourselves.
Yeah, they grow quite well here, getting the clay and stuff, so it works out. But yeah, I'm still getting used to the vertical. I keep sliding away from Cindy.
Oh, I think it's on purpose.
I know you can go with the other vertical, but still the wide.
Yeah,
But
that looked.
it looks kind of squished. Squished. Anyway. So what else is happening?
Well, I don't know. It feels like a lot, but at the same time, not much.
That's about it. I found the same thing with our grapevines once they got going, because for a while there, I was making wine, and Cindy was making jam with the grapes. But the kids pretty much if we just leave them and let the kids go to town, they pretty much keep on top of them and eat them up, which is fine. We just tell them, not that it's going to hurt them, but it's like, watch out for some worms. And
yeah, we should find something to use on them this year so we can salvage more and actually make a jam or something.
Yeah, it does change how you appear on there quite a bit, doesn't it, Robbie? It's like, I don't know.
I've always complained that the other way is way too wide for my liking.
Yeah.
Now this one feels a little close.
That basket of clothes that you have sitting off to the right or whatever on the left, or two baskets, all of a sudden you're trying to hide that. But yeah, it's hasn't been too bad for comments. So we had a few right off the hop, and I think they got bored and left.
Seems like it.
Yeah, we're not too entertaining that way, I guess.
That's good because I'm not tech savvy and I don't even know how to moderate.
It may be the difference too of using the Restream versus doing the actual YouTube platform.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe if you go YouTube Live.
Have you guys noticed a difference? Have you used Restream versus YouTube and noticed a difference?
Yeah.
It feels so much earlier than it is.
Well, it stays.
The sunshine.
Yeah, like it was last night. It must have been close to 8 o'clock before I got inside because I was able to keep going and going. But the thing is, it gets away from you. That's the only thing I do find. Next thing you know, it's much later than it seems, and
yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but it's nice at the same time to have so much daylight.
Just kind of reminds you that eventually it'll be like 10 p.m. and daylight, and the kids will be still awake. And
oh, they are anyway. But
yeah, but it'll be different. They won't even be resting. They're all waiting to come on your live.
I hope not.
Yeah. You do get a lot of them, I have to admit. I'm always surprised. Now, you guys just go right through YouTube's platform, though, right? It is very tight, John. That's the only thing, forcing us to get real close. Yeah, I would probably just use the YouTube if I wasn't broadcasting to Rumble at the same time. But I can still just turn around and upload it to Rumble later. It's not like the end of the world if I just go the other way. And maybe that's what we might end up doing to see how if it works better. Because Rumble, it was pretty good for being monetized initially, but I think they've changed the rules a bit now, and I believe you have to have a membership and you have to stream so many hours a month and things like that. So because the little bit we're making on there seems to have stopped now. And,
I think you said 30 hours a month, which is like an hour a day. I can't imagine.
Yeah, using their streaming platform. So yeah, but
do you guys have your faithful trolls? Do you see the same names week after week?
We haven't had any of those in quite a while, which is been nice.
Yeah, we used to have one that would switch names once in a while because they'd get blocked and then they'd come back with But you can tell the way they spoke, it was
Yeah.
the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I had that much time on my hands.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess maybe if you're in a basement somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's been good though. I was a little concerned because, like I said, I don't know how to moderate, and it seems like sometimes they come fast and furious.
Well, like Donald said, they'll be
waiting
waiting. They're all resting up, getting ready for their life.
with their witty comments.
And Robbie's, I find Robbie's he gets a lot too.
Yeah, I have noticed quite a few people. Seems to be the same theme all the time.
Yeah.
Asking for money and.
Yeah, little did they know, right? Where they think we're going to get money from.
We can't grow it, so.
Yeah. This lifestyle's not cheap.
Nope.
Whack a troll. Yeah. Speaking of which,
Yeah, I did mention to Bert that he better add a few moderators that we trust, because I wouldn't be able to do it very well.
actually, I guess I should add you guys. There we go. Yeah, just in case, if you don't mind. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So you have bunnies?
I do. I have 2 litters right now of Holland Lops, and we'll see how that goes. We had
Nice.
4 rabbits possibly bred. The first one had her litter premature. It was our first time, so it's not a huge surprise. We lost that one. But then we have 2 that had successful litters, and one that's always hit and miss whether she's going to have a litter or not. She's not really cooperative. She's an older bunny. We'll see. But it's nice to finally have some again, because we haven't had any since late. Well, not that late. Last year, actually.
Yeah,
fall.
It's been a while. It's been a rough. I don't know. We had some big losses with the rabbits. Same as the meat rabbits. I'm not sure what's going on. It's been hit and miss whether the litters live, which has never been an issue before. Yeah, that's the part that concerns me, and that's why I didn't put the overlay on today. Because normally I like to use the overlay, so that you don't have to wait to see the chat later on. What is it, like after a day or two, when it actually gets figured out on YouTube? But
that's my concern too. I'm like, the children could be watching and read.
Yeah, so just in case, I left the overlay off, because I didn't want the kids to see anything that was questionable. But
yeah, I don't know if there is a way to just pre-ban certain words, or.
I think there is, but I forgot to look into it.
I do sell the lops as pets. We don't sell our meat rabbits as of now. Like, we never have.
Yeah, just usually I find with the lops for pets, it's not a big deal. With the meat rabbits, it seems like everybody that gets a hold of us that knows we have meat rabbits, they want them butchered. And
we've had people who want to butcher them here.
Oh, especially when we had the goats.
Yeah.
We'd go to sell goats, and all of a sudden people would be reaching out going, can you butcher it? And we're like, no, we can't sell them butchered. Yeah. We can if we send them to a slaughterhouse, where they're licensed and inspected, etc. The abattoirs. But we can't do it ourselves and turn around and sell it. We can only do it for our own consumption. So we tell people that, no, we can't butcher. Well, what if can we come and do it ourselves? And it's like, no.
No, the rules still apply. You can't take
still
it
an
off
issue with that
property.
Because technically, even for us, we sell eggs. Which, I mean, if you actually look federally, we're not allowed to, as far as the federal law goes.
But everyone does.
Everybody does, but technically, we're already bending the rules there. Not to say we wouldn't possibly sell to a close friend or something like that, but
we don't have enough.
Usually what we do with the rabbits is a lot of times we keep the backs and things like that, the loins that are prime meat, and a lot of the other stuff we actually grind up and we mix it with pork and beef just to give us more ground meat to work with.
It works out well.
Especially then we put it in pastas and things like same thing we'd normally use, only because it's a drier meat. That's one of the reasons I was hoping to get more ducks this year, because I think it would be a nice mixture of the rabbit and duck meat with the dry and the greasy. And I worked with a guy once who had a recipe his mom had uh, always made meatballs with the combination of rabbit meat and duck meat. So. Oh wow. Yeah.
They're inventive.
Yeah.
Too much time.
Yeah, like you'd have to really want to be that guy, I guess, but or gal. I can't
Or
imagine.
Teenager.
Yeah,
Probably.
can't imagine why anybody would enjoy spend their time doing that kind of thing. It doesn't make much sense to me. So just before I forget to mention it, guys, I have put the scroller on the bottom here, the ticker for the lineup today, just in case if you guys aren't having your live, feel free to let us know. But obviously the lineup starts with us, and then there's about 1 hour break. And this is all on Eastern Standard Time, guys. I know a lot of these channels we're talking about are in Central Standard Time, but I'm talking about Eastern Standard Time. So you have to add an hour, right?
I think so.
To this time. Does that make sense?
So
Or take it off an hour.
no.
You have to figure that out for yourself. But anyway, that is the lineup for this evening. So I'll leave that on there.
So this next hour is your chance to have supper.
Yeah. Or do chores and things like
Yeah.
that. That's what we did right before our live. We were just kind of running around and getting things done for the evening. I still have to go back out later and finish collecting any extra eggs and close up the feed and the coops a bit. But
And that feed, the bucket way is working out pretty good.
yeah, those buckets, I've been happy with them. All we do in the evening is we just go and put the little caps in the holes, top them off every 2 days. Have to fill the pail back up, but subtract an hour. Okay. So whatever time I've got there, well, it might be the right time depending on where you live, actually. So you'll have to do the math. But those are the times based on Eastern Standard Time, guys. So do go and support those channels for anybody that's on here and hasn't been in the comments. They would appreciate if you have the time to spend with them as well. And we will also try to be there.
Yeah, for sure. And absolutely, if you're just watching and you're not a regular, please say hi. I'd love
Yes.
to hear from you.
Yeah.
I know it
Yes.
seems like we might talk back and forth a lot to the people we know, but we still want everyone to join in.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, give us a thumbs up. Try to push the channel a bit for us. If you aren't already, please subscribe and share with your friends, as we say in all our videos. All right, what else we got going on? I think we're all caught up.
7 minutes left.
7 minutes. If anybody's got any questions or comments, let us know what you guys are doing. Although most of you have a live this evening, you'll be telling everybody what you're doing there.
Yeah, you got to save your information. Okay, what do we got to do still for spring stuff? We have to...
The big thing we got to get, as far as got to get done soon, is got to get that dirt in.
Yeah.
And then I need to make that second aviary type setup for the turkeys.
Once you get the dirt in, I have to finish planting greens and early spring stuff.
Really looking forward to that this time. The greens and things like that.
I already have arugula, kale, and spinach in one. Hasn't sprouted yet, but I did do that this week.
We did actually go buy some seeds this morning.
Yeah. Swiss chard.
Chard and
the zucchini, which mine didn't sprout, so I needed new ones, and lavender for next year because I planted lavender, but I think I did it wrong.
wow. You mowed for the first time today.
Oh, nice. That's a nice smell the first time around.
Yeah.
Smell of spring.
I went as far as getting my lawnmower out of the garage so I can make room. But I can't imagine. Ours is way too short still. Hopefully I'll have that problem soon, John. I wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm. And we're hoping that in the goose pen, the grass comes up.
Yeah, it's with all the
dry.
water that sits in the front yard. Last year we had a nice lush area for them to go into,
It's so lush, it was bending over.
but we had seeded it and did a lot of work. But I'm not sure with all the traffic of their webbed feet and the mud and water from the heavy rains. I'm not sure if the grass is going to come back as well.
Yeah. Some spots are starting, but other spots are just mud pits still.
Yeah. But yeah, I bet it really does smell well around your place, because that's one of those smells that you don't get tired of, is that fresh cut grass.
Yeah.
Unless you've got allergies. Breezy Bree, how are you?
Nice
So
to see you. Thanks for
yeah.
joining us.
We only got a few minutes left, but really happy to see it popped on.
Absolutely. How's your week going? What else do we have to do still?
What else?
Not all homesteady stuff, but we have to put out our trampolines for the kids.
Yeah,
They
you know
love
what?
that.
I hate those darn things.
But they love them.
They love them. I hate them.
They get used, so it's worth it.
Yeah, it's not just the putting up, taking down, all that. So we can't leave them up over winter, because between the wind and just the weather, it would destroy them. But I also hate trying to cut around the darn things, because it's just difficult.
But they love
Anyway, that's just me complaining. It does not matter. It is good that they have them to bounce off some of that energy.
For sure.
But, what else we got to do?
Yeah.
We must be.
I have to finish mucking out the goat barn. Fun.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I started a little bit at a time. Could do it all in one day. I just didn't feel like it.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh, yay! Oh,
Very cool.
we're gonna check that out. If you can put a link, please do. Make it easy to find.
Yeah, definitely put a link to your channel. That would be good.
That's great. I'm excited. Fresh brewed coffee. Yes, that is the smell that's always around here.
Yeah.
Coffee addicts
Yeah.
and tea, but mostly coffee to get through the day and then tea to relax in the evening.
Yeah. That's how I get my water intake. It's in the form of coffee or tea.
Yeah, when he's doing his one meal a day, he still can have coffee anytime, right?
Yeah, just black. Well, I put MCT oil in it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to
As
go
soon as
to your
we're
channel,
done, we'll
Breezy.
have to find it. That's awesome.
Is it the one you're
Oh,
here on?
perfect.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Donald. Or Lisa, whoever's doing it, whoever's doing the control. Here, I'll put that up on the screen. Look forward to checking it out, Breezy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
And another Canadian channel. That's really
Yes.
neat.
Fellow Canadian, quite a ways away from us.
Beautiful
That's
province.
The funny thing about the whole thing is Money Pit
It's closer.
and John, maybe even Robbie, you guys are probably closer to us than Breezy is. Just the Alberta is quite a tour.
Yeah, we have a big country.
Yeah, very.
Well,
Yeah.
that is an awesome way to end our live.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see that. And we'll definitely come over and support you, Breezy.
Yeah, for sure.
And glad to hear we inspired you. It's hard to imagine us inspiring anybody.
It is, so that's quite a compliment.
So that's great to hear. So last minute, we're down to the last minute, I should say. And we really appreciate you guys coming out and supporting us again. And yeah, you're very right. Very big.
Big and beautiful.
And hopefully we'll get our way, Breezy, in the upcoming election in 2 weeks. I know where you stand. You know where we stand. We just have to hopefully make it happen.
Yep. Fingers crossed.
But once again, we appreciate everybody. And we hope you have a very blessed week. And that all your chicks hatch. And your seeds start.
Yep. Happy hatching and sprouting.
Yeah. Hey, excellent. I should actually make that as a little banner. Happy. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to end this, guys, and we'll see you again soon. Some of you will see very soon. So, yes. If you're interested, Breezy, let us know sometime. We can always have you pop on our live.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And join us.
Yeah, and there's a spot right after us that
if you have,
is open on the Sunday lineup.
Yeah, there is. If you decide you want to have your own live, there is a spot right in between us and Money Pit Homestead that could really use an occupied
Occupant.
channel. An occupant. That's the word that was not coming to me.